guys, one of the most amazing group of women I have ever met. So if you guys are not aware, there is a lot that is going on. There's rumors, there's chats, there's crazy emails telling everybody that they need to leave Facebook immediately because the world is about to end because a couple changes are coming down. And so I have been in the DMs with these amazing $1 million group leaders talking about all the different things that are happening, what we're planning on doing in order to pivot and make sure that we continue the success that we've had. And so because we've been having these amazing conversations, I'm like, girls, we need to get together and dispel the myths and start telling the truth and sharing what we are sharing with each other, with you guys. So I am so excited to introduce you to this powerhouse panel of amazing ladies. And because there is literally no way that I could possibly even do an introduction justice, I'm actually going to throw it to them so they can share with you their results over the past couple years on using Facebook as the main platform. And spoiler alert, guys, what is so incredible about what they're doing is so much of it is organic. Yes, some of us are using ads. No, some of us are not. Doesn't even matter. The platform is what is enabling us to do this, along with our skills and the strategies that not only we use in our own businesses, but we teach our own clients. And so first off, what I'm going to do is kind of throw it over to them to give you a quick introduction, just so that you're aware of who we are and what we're all about and why you should actually listen to this amazing community. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to talk about what the actual myths are going around so that we can really talk about what is true and what's not. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to hear from one of these girls, Anne, who actually went to another platform, did an amazing test, and she's going to share some of those results with us. And then what we're going to do is talk about whether or not you should consider leaving like everybody's telling you to, right? In fact, what I would love for you guys to do just really quickly is let us know, in the past 2 weeks, have you gotten an email from a coach that's like, this is why we're leaving and you need to do it now, right? So if you have gotten one of those messages, please let us know in the chat, because I can almost guarantee that's happened. And the second thing I'd love for you guys to say, just so that we know you're all here, is just a quick little experiment. Can you guys just let us know in the chat, did you wake up this morning and immediately pull up Facebook and check your notifications and see what's going on? If you did, can you just let me know? Because I'm gonna prove a point in just a little bit about what's actually going on. So let me know if you woke up, no shade, no guilt. If you woke up and you immediately were like, boop, which by the way, I did in bed this morning, let me know if I'm not alone. Okay, so guys, if you don't know, I'm Jenna Larson. I'm the founder and coach at Group Track CRM, which is the social media CRM. It helps you track, organize, and convert your leads from social. And we are so proud to say that we, on the average year, are able to collect over $1 million from our Facebook group with a small team, 2 of us, a small group, only 4,000 people, a low ticket offer. Our offer is between $57 and $157. And we have done this with 0 ad spend. So super excited to get these girls together. I'm going to throw it over to Molly for a quick introduction, and then she's going to pop us off to the rest of these amazing ladies.
Hey, I love this popcorn style. So glad to be here. And y'all are in the right place. If you want to know how to make big money, make big impact from organic social, and honestly, some of the people here have ginormous groups, but you don't need a ginormous group in order to get big results. So stoked that you're here. And I love the chat. This is a conversation, so keep the chat going. We are streaming in 32 places right now, which is really wild. So it's great to see you guys chatting in the chat. Let us know if you have a group in the chat too. Okay, I'll be quick. My name is Molly Mahoney. I help people just like you, experts, entrepreneurs, coaches, course creators, and agency owners to be able to create content that turns into sales. And we do this mostly with organic social, and we are using AI with human-focused strategies very prevalently. So we've been teaching AI since 2021, which is kind of like being a dinosaur in the AI space. Jenna and I went to junior high together, so we are super stoked to have all of these amazing humans. And with our groups, we've generated over $5 million. So I'm super stoked. That is all from our organic. We do ads also, so there's more results that we brought in from that. But through our organic, we've generated over 5 million, which is so cool. And yeah, we've been running groups since 2016. So I'm super stoked to be here with you. And I'm going to toss it to my girl, my online bestie, Shamika, who has generated bananas results as well. Hello.
Popcorn Shamika.
Hey guys, I'm Shamika Tankerson. I'm President and CEO of Shamika International. One of the things that we do is we help people achieve their most ambitious income goals really, really fast. So I am focused on revenue acceleration, but using Facebook as the primary tool. So we have built a multiple $1-million empire using Facebook as my primary platform. And the thing that I'm most excited about when I talk about that, we've generated over $10 million using Facebook, but I have a very small following. The very first time we created $1 million in a 12-month period of time, I only had less than 5,000 followers on Facebook and about 350 people inside of my group. So leave the platform, heck no. Everybody is on here. There's always a workaround, and I'm excited to be here having this conversation with everybody.
Let's popcorn next. Amazing. So good. Jenna, do you want to call out who goes next in which order? Or?
It doesn't. Ann, hit it, Ann.
Hey everybody, my name is Ann Keeney. I'm a high ticket sales trainer and coach. I work with coaches, sellers, and service-based CEOs. And what we really do is instill human behavior, sales strategy, and skill so that we have high performers. We leverage, obviously, Facebook. We have done over $1 million the past 3 years consecutively, all organically, just using Facebook. Super tiny but mighty audience. So I definitely agree with these ladies. You do not need to have a huge audience. I'm excited to dive into this conversation today because a lot has shifted and changed on social media. And I think this is where the idea of like, oh my God, everybody jump off Facebook and get on the bandwagon of this other platform is where that is coming from. But you absolutely can shift and make a few pivots and still leverage Facebook as a multi-million-dollar strategy. So I'm excited to chat about it.
So good. All right, Elise.
And I just want to say before Elise speaks, one of the reasons I'm so stoked that you're here, Elise, is that you're in a completely different niche than the rest of us. And so y'all listen to Elise because she's in a totally different space than most of us, which I love. Okay, you're amazing. Go.
Hello, my name is Elise Beck, and I'm a quilt pattern designer and artist. And I'm on Facebook growing my community because I realize that's what people want most of the time. They just want a community to belong to. So I'm definitely not leaving Facebook. But I see a lot of artists taking off, going off to all these other platforms that we cannot mention here. And I'm here to stay for the long game.
I love it. I love it too. And I love that you are not necessarily like most of us are teaching strategies, teaching all this. You are someone who's doing it and it's working, and definitely in a niche that some people might say like, oh, well, it works for these ladies because they're business coaches. So I love that you're here as a representation of somebody who's like doing the work, getting the results and killing it. So glad to have you here. All right, Shannon.
Yay, so glad to be here. My name is Shannon Lavinia, and I am the co-founder of StandOutFunnels.ai, along with Christina Rowe, who's here with us as well. I'm also the creator of the CEO of Freedom Accelerator, and I have been working with business owners for the last 15 years, teaching them how to get to the money faster in their business. And I'm a firm believer in AI and that you do not need to work hard in order to have a fastly scaling business. And we've made in the last 3 years over 2 million exclusively from Facebook groups. We also run ads a lot for retargeting. So there's income we've generated from that as well. But we teach social organic in our programs because one, it's so easy and it's not tech heavy. And it just works. So we're super excited to be here with you. And we love Facebook groups and we are not leaving Facebook.
So good. I love it. All right. We'll go to Christina.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. So I am the founder of Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. We have over 835,000 female entrepreneurs from across the globe. And I have like a ton of other groups as well. We have a lot of subgroups, different states, different countries. And I've made probably close to 5 million, over 4.5 million from this group alone. And yeah, Facebook groups are not going anywhere. They are the greatest lead machine cash machine generator that you could ever use. So I had a laugh when I see all these these rumors going around. I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy. Like, if you know how to leverage Facebook groups, it's incredible. And I love how, ladies, you're saying with the small little groups, you do not need a giant group like mine to make a lot of money. You can have a tiny group. I know so many women with small little groups, and you could leverage other people's groups. Members in my group and my Stand Online program have made crazy amounts of money by leveraging my group. So Facebook is the place to be for organic traffic, for lead generation. And I'm also, like Shannon said, the co-founder of standoutfunnels.ai. So thrilled to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, good. And Sheila.
Hey, amazing women. This is really an honor, isn't it? So I don't speak as fast as you all, so just so you have that as a heads up. So I have a background in business law and as a pastor. And years ago, I decided to step into the online space. And at that time, I was a speaker. I was actually voted one of 10 most inspirational women in Toronto in 2019. And I thought, I want to do something different. I'm going to restrict everything. I didn't post anything on Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere. I wanted to prove that with a small Facebook group of 300 people, that you could get to 1 million a year without having any kind of background. Nobody knows who you are. You don't have fancy degrees, and just step into it and make it happen. So I'm not going anywhere.
So good. I love it. So a lot of you are probably like, what are you talking about? Right. And I know I asked in the beginning, how many of you guys have gotten an email from someone that you respect in the industry that's like, here's why I'm leaving. This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a couple things that are triggering the response from a lot of people, right? As you guys know, Facebook, Meta, they change all the time. And when you talk to someone like Molly or Shamika, who've been in the game for a long time, they're probably like, psh, today, what's new, right? Like, we have pivoted so many times. Are you joking, right? For some of us who might be a little bit newer, right? Like, I've only had Group Track for 3 years. It might be a little bit more like, whoa, what's happening, right? So what we want to first do is kind of talk about the truth. Now, you guys have seen there's articles going around where there are going to be some changes to the API that groups are able to use. And one of the things that warms my heart is the number of messages I have received as the owner of Group Track being, please tell me this does not impact us because we desperately need to use this tool and it's gonna we're gonna lose our minds if we can't. So the good news is I'm going to share, just for the record, this does not impact Group Track. Luckily, we
just
have
make sure some people may not know what Group Track is because we've
okay. How do you not know what Group Track is?
I know. So just in case and someone asked, why are there only 3 people watching? That's because you're watching on one of the 30 streams that we have in your own little party, but there's actually over 100 people here, from all of these different places. So we're so glad that you're here. But Group Track is Jenna's tool that she created about 3 years ago, and it's a CRM that connects with your social media platforms. And the reason Group Track is still working is because it's an extension. It doesn't work through the API. So I always like to say that it is like putting a Post-it note on top of your computer. Yeah. It's like hiring a VA who's automated to sit at your computer and do the work for you. This whole training is not specifically all about Group Track, but just to make sure, so we have a lot of Group Track people here because a lot of us use it. But if you don't know what it is awesome. And it's a third-party tool, but it works through an extension, a Chrome extension, not through the API, which is the change that's happening.
Yeah. So first of all, it does not impact us. So that's great news. I do want to acknowledge all the companies that are going to be impacted, though. There are so many companies that have built tools that so many of us and our users and our clients utilize. And it will be quite devastating for some of those companies. And so, I'm just thankful that ours isn't being impacted, but I do want to just acknowledge that there are a lot of people where this is going to be very impactful to their livelihood, right? So for them, yes, this is really, really sad. Well, for the users, right? For those of us who don't own those tools that are going to be impacted, I know that you want to understand, well, how does this impact us, right? And so Molly's going to kind of take us through, what does the actual change mean? And what are some of the workarounds that we can use? And again, we can hear from the group as well, because believe me, we've pivoted 100 million times, right? And so this is the beautiful thing is like, we're committed to doing the work and to giving you guys the best ways to make sure that you can still leverage this amazing free platform, by the way, that has allowed us, I mean, collectively, I don't even know, like millions of dollars in this room, right? And not only us, but our clients as well. So we want to just kind of briefly talk about what are those actual changes, what's the truth, and what are some of those things that we are going to be able to do to work around that. So we'll throw it to you, Molly.
Amazing. And I'll make this really quick because I want to make sure we get all the goodness from everybody. So first of all, and I'm sure from those of you who are here live with us, like on camera, everybody, you know, all of the rock stars here watching live and the rock stars who are like in the chat, I want you to let me know, do you believe that when a change like this happens, it's actually a benefit to you? And here, okay, here is why. You can be the one to figure out how to move with the cheese while everyone else is either totally clueless, which I know there's going to be a lot of people who are clueless about this change, or they're going to be fighting it and mad and using it to be like angry. There is a window of time when you can be an early adopter to this change and make way more impact, way more money out of it because you actually got the right information. So congratulate yourself for yourself. Congratulate. I need to slow down my voice like some people who speak slower. Thank you. I love it, Sheila. Okay. Congratulate yourself for being here and getting this information. There's two huge things that are changing. One is we will no longer be able to schedule our posts through a third-party tool inside a group. Now, why is this important? If you're using a tool like Metricool or High Level, which a lot of us use, or SmarterQ or Hootsuite, whatever it is, and you have content that you're posting on your business page, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and then you've added your group as another channel, that channel of your group will no longer work through that third-party tool. But guess what? It won't work through school either. It won't work through any of these other like platforms. So the people who are using this as a reason to leave, check, that's dumb. But
also, how many of you guys are like, the only reason I make money in my Facebook group is because I can schedule posts? Can anybody raise their hand? Not a single one of us. I can tell you, I've never scheduled a post to, well, that's a lie. I did in the past, but to like make money.
SmarterQ with auto.
Yeah, I did.
Because you actually got good results with that. But
yeah, I did.
But I think people are lazy because of that also. So the good thing, because I have some posts that I've just had scheduled for a long time. And by going back and refreshing this and looking at what I'm actually doing, this is going to make your results better. Yeah. You can still schedule. You have to do it inside the platform. That's the only change. The other thing that is going to be tricky is live streaming. And I will say live streaming through a third-party tool, everyone is saying you won't be able to do it. That's not true. You just have to use a different method to do it. So you won't be able to click it like my group, add that onto Zoom or whatever. You have to use something kind of techie called an RTMP, which we're not going to talk about right here, but know that I did a video on YouTube exactly how to walk through how to do the RTMP. If we want at the end, if everybody wants to go over that, we can. Just know there is a solution for it. But if you're using your old method of scheduling posts or going live into a group, those old methods won't work. You have to develop a new method. Those are the two main things that are changing with this API access. And if you read the TechCrunch article that came out, which I can share in the chat, they're also saying that part of the reason that this change is happening is because they're going to be changing the API so that we'll have, and if you don't know what the API is, that's how Facebook connects with these other tools through the back end. So it's like a secret key behind the scenes for these tools.
For developers.
For developers, yeah, for these tools to be able to go in there through with their developers. The thing that may be happening though, is that they're going to be opening up new ways for the API to work. So there's a chance that in a month or two, we'll be able to do these things just through a different version of the API. In the meantime, we're going to make sure that we're staying ahead of the curve because those changes will be happening. That is it. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything to those changes because I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I can handle it. Like, can you guys handle it? I mean, and I hope you guys are watching or like feeling a little bit of relief, because if you're watching the emails that I get, at least, it is like the world is ending. Abandoned ship. We must go. And it's like, because of a scheduling and a thing, right? So again, that's why I wanted to get these amazing powerhouses together, because we wanted to just like share the truth and then how we're pivoting in these.
And there is truth to the fact that we are building this on borrowed land, but guess what? School is borrowed land also. And I'm excited to hear what Anna has to say
as
about
well,
going there.
and all the other ones.
All of these are borrowed land. And if you don't have a system in place, like using a tool like Group Track or getting out, I'm in a hotel, so I don't have my prop with me, but I have a bag of business cards that I used to carry around. That I owned that bag of business cards. If you don't have your own system for collecting information from these platforms, you are not in a good place. Like, right? We need to be ready to make changes and have a backup in place no matter what happens.
And I think the other thing we just want to be clear about is we're not telling you not to leave, right? I think what we want to do is to just educate and give you guys kind of some criteria and parameters to consider if you think you should go, because I do believe there's going to be a lot of success from a lot of people who choose to go to these other platforms, but it has to be for the right person with the right offer and the right audience, because obviously Facebook has billions of users. Right now, these other locations, they don't, right? And so what I want to do is just make sure that we're just very clear. We're not bashing the other platforms. In fact, Group Track is currently building Group Track for schools. So again, I want to be super clear about that. But what we want to just share is it's not a one size fits all approach. And what we want to be able to do is offer our strategies to you guys on how we are helping our own clients monetize. And then just some things to be thinking about if you are thinking, oh, I should jump ship. Okay. So what I'd love to do is just kind of push it over to Anne for just a moment. Anne did a crazy, real like trial. And we'll just want to kind of hear some of those insights. Again, not to say don't go, but here is kind of from a business coach's perspective of what happened when she went.
Yeah, excited to share this. Okay, I want to just kind of like caveat really quickly before I get into like the whole school kind of thing. I think that when there is just kind of like what Molly was saying, when there's a change or a pivot that is taking place online, it is opportunity for us to pivot and grow as well. And I think sometimes we jump ship a little quickly, or we tend to be trend hoppers where we're like, oh, this brand new fad or this brand new thing, and it's the place we all have to go. But being a sales trainer and a sales expert, one of the things that's helped me maintain $1 million over and over consecutively has not been jumping ship and trying a million different strategies. It's actually been the mastery of mastering one thing at a time, and also being adaptable. I think that's a huge skill set. You need to be adaptable because things are always going to change. My belief is that you can make money and have success with every platform and every strategy and anything you're doing if you know how to use it. Okay, so with that, so about probably 4 months ago now, I've never been a trend hopper. So I have made all my money from a single mom on food stamps, living in welfare, all the way here to generating over $1 million consecutively, working 4 or 5 hours a day. I have a team of 2 people. We are a small but really mighty team. And my business pretty much runs without me when I need it to. And so we've done all of that with Facebook primarily. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, but our money in dollars and cents comes from Facebook. And so we have never been a trend kind of setter. I've never, ever really been like, oh, let's go try that platform because everyone's doing it, or let's go do this. But school came out, and a couple of my colleagues and a couple of my high-level mentors had mentioned it and said they were having really great success. It's the future. You should definitely consider it. You got to get off Facebook because Facebook's going downhill. Get over there quickly. Well, at the time, there was shifts and pivots that were taking place on social media in general. But because the majority of humans are on Facebook, it just happened to be Facebook that was kind of targeted as, oh my God, it's the worst. You got to get off it, jump ship quick. So we kind of looked into school a little bit, and we explored it a little bit, and we asked some questions, and we were talking to other people using it. And I said, okay, let's do what Anne always does and what Anne always teaches her clients, and let's do a 90-day trial. So a few years back, I trademarked data drives decisions. And the reason I did that is because I do believe that data tells you everything you need to know about what is going on. And so we went ahead and said, let's give it 90 days because you're not going to accomplish and have enough data to make any decisions before 90 days. So we went and we opened up our school account. We were so excited. Now I have $1 million group strategy. We've been running this strategy for 2 years in our Facebook group, and it takes every 10 leads and converts 2 pretty rapidly fast, actually. And so we know we have a really good group strategy for Facebook. And I said, why don't we just take that same strategy and we'll apply it over on the school, and we'll run our strategy that we know works, and we'll see what happens. And so within the first 20 days, 15 or 20 days, I went back to my team and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is so bad. And we were like, well, let's just keep going. Let's keep trying some different things. Let's keep testing. Let's keep going at it. So we got 45 days. And I'm like, this is a crapshoot. Like, this is just not working. And then we got to our 60 plus days. And I'm like, we should just cancel this. This is so bad. And so we were like, no, let's follow it through all the way 90 days. And so we got to our 90 days and we took this big, deep breath of fresh air, shut that shit down, and boom, we got off the school platform.
Do you think it was because people weren't actually there? Because that's what I've seen, is that when I join free groups on these other platforms, I don't go when they're free. If I'm paying for them, I will force myself to. But do you think that was the big reason that it wasn't working, was because people weren't there?
Here's what we did. I'm really big again on data. So I was like, we're shutting it down and we're going to go back and continue what we were doing for now on Facebook, right? And so what we did is we went back and surveyed everybody that had joined us on school, because we got hundreds of our audience, hundreds and hundreds of people to go over there and join us. And they were like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Yay, right? And so we're like, oh my God, this is going to be gravy, baby. And then we got over there and we're like, what's going on here? And so when we decided to make the close, we surveyed, we sent a poll, we actually got on DMs, we got in chats with everybody that went over there, which was hundreds of people. And I'm like, you guys are so excited. We're shutting it down. Here's why. Can you share with me why you didn't engage over there and like why you didn't? So let me just back up a second. In that 90 days, not a drop of anything. No engagement, no response, no activity, no flatline, complete graveyard, dead, nothing. And nothing that we tried worked. So when we went back to everybody, we were like, what happened? Like, what's going on? And over 95% of hundreds of people that gave us the feedback had said, it sounds exciting. It was so exciting and like it sounds so refreshing. But the truth of the matter is, I have Facebook on my phone. It is my #1 platform. I am there 24/7. It's where I'm at. And honestly, I can't try to remember every day to go download another app and check another app for notifications and go over here and do that. And so even though they were really excited about it, the habit, right, that everybody has is Facebook is an app. It's on your phone. You've been on it for forever. And your normal routine is to scroll and check your notification on Facebook. Like, we live on it. And so the truth of the matter is, unless school is going to take Facebook down, people are on Facebook. And so that was the feedback that we got. So we shut it down and we went back and continued our strategy over in the Facebook group. And you know what it really showed me was there's a lot of things that are going to come out. There's a lot of different ways to leverage the online and social media and different platforms and all of these things. But you got to meet your audience where they're at, period, end of conversation. If your audience is on Facebook, you got to make it work. You got to pivot. You got to be adaptable. You got to find a way to make it work, because that's where everybody is. And I also realized, kind of like I say with your offers, like no one is going to be as excited about your offer as you are, like ever. Same thing with this, like you're excited about this reset, but the rest of the world is, I'll say addicted, but like we are accustomed to Facebook. It is on our phones. We scroll it in bed. We look at our kids. We communicate this way, right? And so I think that it just kind of taught us, like, it's definitely trends and fads come and go, ebb and flow. And you just have to be mindful of like a simple strategy and don't try to fix something that's not broke.
Amen. And it feels like though people are trying to act like the groups are going to be broken, but they're actually getting better than ever because they're adding so many cool features internally on Facebook. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Shannon, do you want to hop up next? And I've got your group here. So
yes, I do. I've been sitting on the edge of my seat wanting to come out here. And that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay,
So first of all,
can you just, don't know if everybody can see the chat that's here. So we've got some really good questions coming in too. Some people don't know what school is. It's SKOOL. Just, we're not talking, because someone said like, what school are you talking about? So when we say that, we're referring to other platforms like Circle, SKOOL. And like Jenna said in the beginning, we're not bashing those platforms. We're just saying they aren't a replacement for a Facebook group. Maybe. But just to make sure, and if you guys, while we're here too, if you guys can keep an eye on the chat, if you click on chat, all the awesome comments from the community will come up, and questions that you guys have, if you put a Q in front of it, then we'll bring those back up and we'll be coming back to them. Okay, Shannon, I'm going to stop and bring your group up on the screen. So, hooray.
Okay, great. So first of all, I do not have the largest group, but we make a ton of money from this group. And one of the things that we teach a lot of people is you should not be auto posting into your group, because a group is a community of human living beings. And if you are monitoring your group and you're seeing what the current scene is, and you're posting to real people in a real conversation, then you're able to convert a lot better from that group. But if you're just auto posting the same stuff over and over, people get bored of it. They're not going to be there. They're not going to engage, and they're not going to be involved in your group. So you definitely want to have that content be fresh based on the conversations that are happening there. And you want to provide real-time information inside of your group. So that's one of the things, we've never taught people to use an external poster into the group. Anyways, we don't even use the auto poster within the Facebook group, because we do have a 7-day content strategy that we religiously follow. And it's based on what is current, what is wanted, what is needed in that group at that time. Like, what questions are people asking? What help are they needing? And because you're delivering that very personalized information, it makes it more valuable to them, and you connect on a deeper level, especially if you are selling a high ticket program. We have a high ticket program. Our programs range from 8,000 up to 40,000. So we're not going to be in there posting the same general stuff every time, right? We're looking to connect with people that we can have that relate. Now, our strategy pivots a lot on going live in the group and utilizing that live every single week in our strategy. So we promote the live, we announce the live, we give little secrets of what we're going to be revealing in that live. Then we go live. Then we do, a post that gets people to raise their hand that they want something we mentioned in the live. And that starts the DM conversations with our appointment setters. And that strategy works so well, and we'll continue to do that. The other thing that Anne said, and I just really want to reinforce this, is that human beings are robotic, habitual beings, right? So when you think about it, I know it sounds cold, but like every time you get in your car, how many times have you gotten in your car and you start driving and you're like, wait, how did I get here? Right? Like you're like, it's so robotic, because you create these mechanisms to do the same things over and over again. You don't have to think about how you're going to shower, right? You get in the shower, you have a routine. You don't have to think about how you brush your teeth, right? You probably get up in the morning, you do the same things, And we do that with social media too. Once we adopt something, we really adopt it and it becomes habitual. So if you can think to yourself, the effort that you've had to put into trying to change a habit in your own life, in marketing, do you want to go up against that and put that much extra effort into trying to get your followers, your audience, to change a habit to now go to a new platform? So, school, these other things, they're really shiny objects, right? And I also love, Dan, that you said you've made millions of dollars by doing the same thing over and over again, right? We can apply this shiny object shift to a lot of things. How many different project management softwares can you switch to? We've been using Asana since Asana started, right? We haven't switched to Monday or ClickUp or any of the other, or Notion or shiny objects, right? And because of that, we haven't had to put in the extra time and effort that it would take for our team to utilize those new shift tools, and time and effort that goes into real production, which is getting leads and moving those leads up the scale of interest into closed sales, right? So you have to think you have a certain bucket of resources available to you. And if you're going to pour resources out of that bucket into a shift to an entire new software, then you got to make sure that you're going to monetize that. And school is still very iffy.
You know what, Shannon, I just want to chime in here. And it's something really funny about now, school's a great platform, don't get me wrong. And I love Alex Hormozy, a huge fan. But if you go through, which I have gone through their little training thing there for the school games, they actually tell you to go to social media to get the people to school. That's exactly the training. They tell you to go to Facebook, go to YouTube, go partner with influencers, because they don't have the traffic. They're not lying about that. They're telling you that. But yet all these people are running around saying, oh no, school's the way. Pay and get this $99 per community. So you pay $90 a month for the free community, then another $99 for your paid community. So, I mean, I think it's a great use case is taking your paid people, put the community on school or anywhere else, like Molly said, for the paid community, but you're still going to have to get that traffic. So why would you run over, there, and you're not going to have that massive amount of traffic of billions of users? The other thing, no other social media platform does, to keep in mind, when you have a very engaged group, what happens if you go visit a group? 1 day, 2 days, all of a sudden, you're in Facebook, you're, looking at your aunt's post and this and that. All of a sudden, what happens? A post from a Facebook group pops in. The more you're engaged with a group, the more you see the group post. No other platform does that. So that's the whole point of mixing in with your lifestyle. It's literally in your lifestyle. You're not going to see that, it's there, it's embedded. So and then when you want to take them, bring them over to school, bring them over to Mighty Networks. I have a Mighty Networks with 6,000 members. It's no way, it's 835,000 in the Facebook group. So just compare the two, right? And like I said, it's not a big problem, but just really think about that. Even the founders of school are telling you, you need to go get your traffic someplace else. So I just wanted to bring that up.
I think that's such a great point too, because there are really good use cases for using these other platforms. So I just want to say it 50,000 times just to make sure no one thinks we're saying, poo-poo to those. We're not. What we're just trying to do is educate on in which circumstance does it seem appropriate so that you have the information to make the decision for you. Awesome. Go for it, Sheila.
Yeah, I think the thing we really want to get across is, what is best for your client? And where is your client? Right? If your client is on Facebook and your client is somebody who's in your group, it's like inviting everybody to a kitchen party and everybody's having a blast and then saying, by the way, we're going to trudge through the snow down the street without any boots to some other location. And the inertia that it does take to be able to have that momentum and to be able to have everybody in that same room, that we actually want hearts, not eyeballs. And we want to have quality, not just quantity. And so part of this fear mongering is it goes alongside with, we need, and I love that some of you have big groups. And of course, my group is growing and my following is growing. But if we can get to and we can help other people scale to 1 million a year with 300 or 1,000 people in a group, why wouldn't we keep doing that?
Mm-hmm.
So good. And so I know that we have a hard stop in about 10 minutes. Like, I can't think of anything better than throwing it to Shamika, who is, like, in my opinion, the queen of organic social. And so what we'd love to just hear from you, Shamika, is like, what is the number one thing that you're going to see and change or kind of share with your own clients as we move into 24?
Yeah, I think this conversation is really powerful because every time something happens in society at large, there's a panic in the online marketing space. It happened in 2020 when COVID happened. Everybody thought they needed to do things a certain way. New platforms come out. We all think we have to run over there. We saw it with Clubhouse. You guys were up 24/7. See how I say you guys? Because I wasn't over there doing Clubhouses, running Clubhouses. I was similar to Anne. I'm like, double down and focus on what you have. Because just like Sheila and some other people were saying, it takes resources and there's a learning curve to a new platform, right? When Threads came out, everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're leaving all the platforms and Threads gonna be the new things. And you guys are now like, Threads who? right? And so I think the most powerful thing to think about when it comes to building your business is when there is a new opportunity, because that's what we're going to call them. This is a new opportunity. How do I want to utilize it? So Molly mentioned, do I want to be the person who's learning what other things there are to do so that I can lead others on what to do next? Or am I the person who's just going to be figuring out how I'm going to utilize this opportunity for myself? And when I do that, it's not a throw the baby out with the bathwater thing. That's how we build multiple $1 million businesses, because you have put time and effort into building what you have right now. It's about small micro shifts, tiny tweaks. So what can I keep and what must change? So we've already learned that what must change is some of the platforms, because the API is not going to work. But why would we just get rid of the entire Facebook group? Why would we do that? Right? So what must change is the way that I schedule, or whether or not I schedule at all. And so one of the things that we have been doing already is when Facebook comes out with a native way to do something inside of Facebook, we begin using that. We've already been scheduling using Facebook Scheduler. Live streaming is not something that we love to use with Facebook. And so the live streaming piece of it, we have been using third-party software to do that. So we're going to have to figure out what's going to be the standard operating procedure for making sure that when we do our weekly live shows, that it's the easiest, the less of a lift for us to make that happen. As far as strategy, Facebook groups was never about the API or the being able to schedule, like we were just talking about right now. It's definitely about the hearts that are there, the people. It's why I was able to cross $1 million in 12 months with 350 people in my Facebook group. It's why right now I think my Facebook group may have a few thousand people in it, and we're doing multiple $1 million a year from it. Because I care about the people that are in it. It's about the quality and not the quantity of the people. I don't want everybody in my Facebook group. I want the right people in my Facebook group who are there for the right reasons. And so we have screening processes. Unlike most people who say, answer our questions and we won't let you in, we literally don't let people in who don't meet our qualifications. So I don't need 300 people in a Facebook group who aren't paying attention. And most often that's the reason why no one's engaging, because they weren't there to engage in the first place. They're just clicking buttons, right? And
or
so
they're there to come poach people out of your
that too.
salesy weirdo.
They're not to poach your content. So for me, the biggest strategy that I can do is to think about what we do is we push everything to the Facebook group. So if Facebook groups are going to be the strategy, if I email, you're not going to click a link and go somewhere else. You're going to click the link and it's going to send you back to my Facebook group to the post where I asked you to raise your hand, and now you got to raise your hand. And then that creates a virility with the post. So everything goes to the Facebook group. Every link that we have on the outside to the Facebook group, If you want to watch the live stream, to the Facebook group. You have to opt in. So think about it that way.
Jenna and I have a joke, so I'm like dying laughing right now, because we were watching another training a long time ago where someone said, I am going to give you a tip that is going to completely blow your mind, and nobody else on the internet is talking about this. So are you ready for it? If you're ready for it, let me know in the chat, because this is really mind-blowing. If you want to get more traction to your content in your group, you send an email.
We die, like literally. It's amazing.
I am this person today. No one else is doing this strategy.
No, I want you to build it up. Whitney that. Like really build it up, because that is going to blow my mind.
Grab your pen and your paper, because I'm about to tell you something that is going to change the game for you. You can use email to send people to your Facebook group. Okay.
Who knew?
Can I throw in a little tip on that too? Have you guys used the URL Genius thing to cloak your link, so that when you do put it in the email, what'll happen is if you just put directly the Facebook group in your email, so everybody doesn't know this, a lot of times if you're on your phone, it's like you can't log into Facebook and you're like, damn it, forget it. So when you use a tool like that, it cloaks the link and it'll open up the app.
And it's called a deep link, actually. So it's a deep linking where it will, that may seem kind of techie, but it's where it takes that Facebook thing and make the link and makes it open the app instead of going into the website where you're not usually logged in on your phone.
So maybe Christina actually did just like share something that a lot of people don't know, right? So if that's you, if you're like, what? I did not know that, let us know in the chat.
And it works with, I see questions about the tools, like URL Genius is what Christina just said, but it works with a lot of link forwarders. We call it your party bus, because one time we were doing a training, a full 5-day challenge on Facebook, and Facebook crashed that day. Because we used a link like Christina just said, we moved our whole entire 5-day challenge to YouTube, because we were able to redirect the link rather than just sharing. Like, for example, Shamika, when she was talking, I should have brought this up on the screen and I didn't. But like for Shamika's group, she didn't share facebook.com/group/whatever. She shared makingmillionshappen.com. For mine, we share molly.live/group. Having a link like that you use helps you to be able to say it out loud, helps you to be able to direct the way that that link is being used. And if your URL shortener has deep links, you can create that also. Talk to Christina.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I do have women helping women .group. So you can get a .group thing on GoDaddy and then redirect it right in GoDaddy to go to your Facebook group, so you don't have to have the long link there. So that's a great point, Molly.
I love this. You guys, I mean, if you're watching this, like, again, it's so funny. As we were preparing for this and we were kind of like talking behind the scenes about like, what do we really want people to know? And why should they even listen to us, right? Like I said before, like if we calculate the millions that have been sold from these women who are running groups, it literally gives me chills. Like, first of all, because like, how cool is it that there's these badass girls together, right? But I just love that everybody's so willing to come together, because we really just want to share the truth, right? There's just so many people that are starting out or who are beginning to scale their business. They've been investing their time and their energy in Facebook, and now they're scared, right? And so to be able to come together as a community and to be like, look, people like Elise, right, who are not coaching on this, but are doing it and getting results. Like, there are so many of you just like her, right? And so I want to just make sure that everybody gets that message, right? Yes, there are some people that are going to leave. And yes, some of those people are going to be really, really successful. And truth be told, almost all of us are probably going to test it out, just like Ann did, and share our insights. But what we're not going to do is give a one-size-fits-all approach and tell you to abandon ship, when we know there are billions of people that are waiting and praying for your offer right now on Facebook that are just desperate for your help. So I know Elise, you're
I'd love to hear it. How many people are in your group, PT Dubs?
We're pushing almost 33,000, and I'm getting a lot of organic traffic, because
and it's about
Facebook
quilt making, y'all. It's about quilting. So let's like get real, that this doesn't have to be something that's about selling things. And Damon is here in the chat also. Damon is creeping on 104,000 in his group, and it's about crafting also. So like, this doesn't have to be something that is about how to make sales. So how are you? You're getting a lot of organic traffic. Can you tell us how you're doing?
Yeah, because I asked people, so how did you find out about my group? They're like, oh, Facebook sent me an email. I was like, what? So Facebook sends out emails asking or promoting groups. And also they're doing, I don't know if it's not promoted ads, but they're advertising in people's feeds. This might be interesting to you. And that would never happen to me on a different platform, right? So I'm getting all these people that would never have found out about my group if I wasn't on Facebook. And if you want to leave Facebook, goodbye me, it's more for me, right? So it's all okay.
Oh my God, I love that. And I'm so glad that you're here too. Because again, I think that, sometimes when we watch people that are doing things and it's working, sometimes inside we're like, oh, but it's different for them. This is why it can work. And this is how it won't work for me. And so I'm just so grateful that you come in this group and are sharing your message as well, to see that it is so possible, regardless of your niche, regardless of what you sell, regardless of who you serve and what you do. So thank you so much for being with us. Guys, I mean, this is crazy. Again, I just can't thank everybody enough. Behind the scenes, like I said, I've just been like pulling my hair out with every email I get, like, come on, people. And so, to go grab the best girls that I know in the industry that are just killing it and have a heart and a passion for serving others. Yeah, it's really awesome that we all make an income and that we're successful. But I can promise you, what guides every single one of us in this community is not the money. It's the service, and it's the support, and it's taking our talents to be able to give people results and change their lives. And so more than anything, I think that's why we're here. And that's why I'm so grateful that when I was like, I need people to come help me spread this message, you all raised your hand and you were like, boom, I'm in, let's go. So I can say, like, obviously you've heard all these crazy, amazing results from these women. Every single one of them teaches in a different way, right? We all have very similar strategies, but I can promise you they're all delivered very different, right? I know Molly is just like super fast, but like detailed. Anne is like, I'm going to make you make money and there's no excuses, right? And so what's so awesome is that there's someone here for everybody. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to give you all of the details to all of these amazing women who have stepped up to just serve you guys this morning. In case you want to learn more about how it is that you can work with them or make a quilt, because I mean, that's awesome, right? And so again, we'll be sending out the replay. We'll also be dropping our information in the 32 places that we're streaming live, which is just so crazy. But I just truly cannot thank you guys enough for joining me and just helping link arms and being like, we got this, we can do it. And as these changes come, just know these women in the room are on top of the changes. We're ready with the workarounds. We're ready with the pivots, and we're ready to serve and support you through it. So make sure that you are following all these beautiful women. And yeah, any final words, ladies?
Jenna, we just want to thank you and Molly. Molly did a ton in the background to make this work. And Jenna's system works, guys. Okay. She's got great ways organically to be able to send lots of messages to very qualified buyers. So if you are, Jenna didn't ask me to say anything, but if you are interested, reach out, because Group Track works and you're going to be able to continue using it with these Facebook changes.
Thank you. Amazing.
So grateful. And I love like what you said, Jenna, about we all have like similar strategies, but we have our own vibe. We have our own energy. So it's so awesome that the whole community is here because we all came together, like the collaboration versus competition. And I also just like with Damon, there's an extra seat right here that's waiting for you. So when you're ready to come join us on, if we do this again, we'll save this seat for you. It's so clear to me that from everyone that's here on this training today, that we talked about really meeting people where they're at, recognizing that they are human beings, that we're not here about like blasting people. And if your engagement in your group is low, try talking to one person. Like, reach out to one human being. That could be the difference. It's not about like spamming people. It's really about deepening that relationship. And with everyone who's on this call today, there are ways to deepen those relationships at scale so that you can really live your life. So props to all of you.
I love it. Okay. And before we officially say goodbye, we're going to take a photo to commemorate this amazing moment. So ladies, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Amazing.
Awesome. And if you
Thank you.
Just say like, bring it back in the chat, because it would be fun to be able to hop on again and have even more insights from everybody. We had a hard stop today because we have some other things happening, but we got a little bit of a nugget from everybody. So it's been awesome to have everybody here. And if you'd like us to do it again, say, bring it back in the chat and we'll do what we can.
Bring it back. All right, ladies, have a wonderful day. And thank you, everybody. Be sure to follow these great girls for some really good support. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.